Greetings, everybody, and happy Monday. We're still in the glow of the full moon and the summer solstice. New energy going forward. I'm Virginia Palmer, Dr. V, Lemurian dreamer, evolutionary astrologer, transformer. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the transformational part of what I do. And the foundation of everything that I talk about is the valued self. I rattle off those components, but today we're going to go into more depth. And the valued self is part or the component of personal power. Personal power, which is the first component of the partnership model. That's the Aquarian age that we are in. The old dominator model, power over, win, lose. I'll take your country, your women, your resources. So the partnership model was developed by Rayanne Elsler, a renowned author and scientist, and it's personal power, mutual respect, mutual support. I added the components of co-creation, higher purpose, and oneness. And we'll talk about that partnership model in depth very soon. Today, it's a valued self. And I have to give you a little story before I launch in, and that is I was wanting to get some graphics for you that have all the components of the valued self. That's not my forte. I'm going to learn some of this editing and YouTube. But my good friend Cheryl Ray, who's an artist and a wizard in her own right, does those things, like the 7-day cycle of the solstice that was recently put up. That's her graphics. And I was getting a little frustrated because blah, blah, blah. And so I thought, I'm just going to get ready. So as I was preparing with my hair and makeup, I am a 3 on the Enneagram, if those that know that system. And of course, that's, for me, that's kind of a Neptune-y moment, letting go of everything and just focusing. And it just came in so clear to me that the graphics of the valued self that I will put up in the next couple of days will be that same brand, let's say, of the 7-day solstice. So I want to give you that example of how dreaming is going on 24/7. Whether we're sleeping, meditating, or just relaxing, primping, anything. Just relax, open, and you can start receiving. So that opened a whole new avenue for me. All right, so on to the valued self. Yeah, it's the foundation of the personal power of who you are, who we are, and who we're becoming. So it always starts with self-awareness. And self-awareness is much more than just like, oh, I'm aware of myself. It's aware of your beliefs, your attitudes, your patterns, your habits, good and not so good. Just becoming aware, oh, I think I'm going to make a new, and your choices and decisions, and I think I'll make a new one. So that self-awareness is, as all of the selves of the valued self, is totally ongoing. We're we're aware of a lot, but there's so much more that we're going to be becoming aware of within ourselves. And from that, we go out to others. So I'm going to look at I want to get the words right from a book I wrote, Faces of Power, Guide to Personal Empowerment, where I have started out with the valued self. So next comes self-worth. And that is, it's so sad that the human condition has been we don't feel worthy. Every human being is worthy. We are born worthy, and the divine source. There's nothing we can do that will destroy that worth. We're here, we're humans, but we need to enrich that and feel that within ourselves. And one of the key components is constantly or periodically accepting and feeling that worth. When I taught leadership and group dynamics and personal empowerment classes at Austin Community College, I would tell my students before going to bed at night, write down things that you did that day that made you feel good about yourself right before going to sleep, or when you get up in the morning, or any time. If you keep a journal, valued self journal, drink, whatever, but just continually to acknowledge yourself. If there's something that you did that you didn't like, forgive yourself. Easier said than done. The original meaning of the word sin is missing the mark. So you just missed the mark. You're not bad and wrong. Self-realization. Oh, I thought this and it wasn't that, and I'm worthy. And then, I have some, and that starts building your confidence. So you forgive yourself, you get back in alignment. Then there's the self-esteem, self-esteem, self-esteem. You earn that from yourself through your good deeds, through your skills, through your talents. There's so many different ways of that self-esteem, but it is more of a earning. And if you're not feeling that self-esteem, start writing down those things that your skills, what you're good at, or things that you want to do, and make a plan to pursue that. Like I'm gonna get better at editing. Anyway, that self-esteem is so important. All these components of the self certainly start with the inner child. Self-esteem usually is earned from the father. Therein lies some problems for some of us. I also have worked for years with people, myself included, oh my goodness, of healing the inner child and breaking some of those old contracts of shame. That's another story, but it all works together. Again, self-awareness, self-worth, and then we start having that self-esteem that builds into self-confidence. Again, building on your skills, on your awareness of your worth, well, I can't do this, but I want to. So I'll set some goals, I'll take some steps, etc., etc. There's all sorts of confidence building. Let me make sure. Right. Your action towards purposeful goals, a meaningful life. What is that to you? I'm going to take a quick segue about personal mission statements. Most people that work for any kind of company and organization, that's a mission statement. How many people have personal mission statements? Not that many. I did a national training with park directors, and there were several hundred people in the room. I said, how many have written and have a personal mission statement? And there were just 2 or 3. But it's an enriching process to do just with yourself. It is, and it changes, of course, as you change and as you move on. But that's that self-confidence. And then we move to, you got the work, you got the realization, the value, the worth, the esteem, the confidence, always expanding. We dip down and get out of those periodically for sure. Then we get to the self-love, which is really the bedrock. I mean, it all is, but that self-love. Many of us grew up in an era that, well, oh, don't get the big head, don't talk about yourself, blah, 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 blah. No, you're the leader of your team. So that self-love, again, maybe writing down not the things you've achieved and done, but the people that you've loved and how you love others or the world and what you do in your activism work or advocacy or what you want to do. It's just never ending. There's so much that can be done in all these arenas that forgiving someone, a lot of times people, I don't, well, do it for yourself first because, you unload and release and heal a lot of negative energy. So yes, it's self first, the valued self. And, then is self-respect essential. And when you acknowledge these components and look at them and work with them, really, that's what I have in leadership trainings that I do. That's how team building, it's personal power, valued self, that self-respect, and knowing that if you don't know something or how to do it, you can just say, I don't know, and call a friend, call the expert, and then also at the same time, learn it yourself. That's co-creation, working together. There's just so many different ways, and each way for each of you is going to be a little bit different. But just knowing the components of the valued self, and then that all leads and that combines together because it's a circle, the valued self. Self-realization. I mean, realizing more and more who you are becoming, who I am becoming. And the new boundaries of Saturn in Pisces, as I have been saying in recent videos, Saturn in Pisces, Saturn giving structures, new boundaries, bounded not by the ego self and the insecure self that's not values sometimes, but isn't even aware of the valued self, all the components. You become new boundaries, new structure of self as a soul self. That's the oneness on that partnership model. So Saturn's here to help us with the new structure of our new valued self, always expanding, the new expanding partnership model, the new age. Much more to say. I'll take you on a valued self journey in the next day or two with my new graphics. So until then, I'll see you in our dreams, our mutual supportive dreams, our dreams of us, our valued self, and sending that out to others, friends, family, humanity. Aquarian age is the age of humanity. And one more thing. In different situations where you're going to make a decision or you're involved and in the heat of the moment, forget things, and that's okay. Forgive yourself, work with it later. But you can have a component. What would someone that completely loves them, values themselves and loves themselves, what would they do in this situation? What would they say? The old saying, what would fill in the blank say? But you say, what would my loving self say? All right. See you in our dreams, and we'll make them sweet dreams, valued self, and valued humanity. All right. Bye.